Hey, welcome back to Drinking with Craig and Roger. I'm Craig.
I'm Roger.
And I'm really excited. Today is a real treat because we have a whiskey that you didn't even have to pay for.
Well, that's not true.
But
It says stolen whiskey, but whoever stole it is selling it now. That is the name of the company, Stolen Spirits. Produced and bottled St. Petersburg Distillery, St. Petersburg, Florida. Stolen whiskey.
So that means, and we looked into it, it was distilled by MGP.
Right.
Contract distilled, like a lot of other stuff. But then once they got the juice, they did their thing with it in Florida.
And it's called 11 because it's aged 11 years. And it says American whiskey. And it says barrel finished with smoked oak staves. It's 46% or 92 proof.
Okay.
And what that means then, this is not a bourbon.
Right.
And means it doesn't necessarily have to have 51% corn. It could have more or less. It can be aged in used barrels.
Refilled cask, which can be really interesting.
Yeah, except the caramel that you get out of a used barrel isn't quite as strong as much as strong as it would be from a new one.
Because of the char.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that is why they took smoked oak staves and put it in the barrel. And then it was aged 11 years with that combination, and that's what we have here.
Now, question, you have no idea, obviously, but would you guess that they use the refilled barrels strictly to get a different outcome in their product, or because they're cheaper, or what do you think?
Probably cheaper.
Okay.
Scotch whiskey distillers will very often use second-use bourbon barrels because they're cheaper. They're cheaper, and it gives a little bourbon flavor to their whiskey, but it doesn't taste like bourbon. It's still very malty, like Scotch.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that's I think what we're looking at here.
Okay.
But at 11 years, it should be pretty good. And I think you did a little research. You know what the mash bill is.
Yeah, I think it says about 80% corn, so real high corn. And roughly, what was it, 16% rye, 4% barley, something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah. You always need to have a little bit of barley malt because it's very, very hard to get the enzymes working to ferment if you don't have some malt in it.
Yes. Let me see, I'm just kind of opening it up as you talk.
Oh, look. They've got a double gold medal at the San Francisco World Spirits competition in 2017.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty good. We'll see. I think you got it for, did you say about 35?
About 35, something like that.
I think it sells for about 35 to 45, depending on where you're at and how unscrupulous and cutthroat the package store is. There you are.
Since it's in a clear bottle, you can actually see its color right through it. It's very nice and orange.
Yes, it is.
And
light orange. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely doesn't have that so much of that darker, I guess, crimson type color I would associate with a lot of bourbons. Let's see. Ooh, that is a nice nose. Interesting.
Yeah,
almost more like a Scotch in a way to me.
Yeah.
The nose, wow, like a blended Scotch.
Well, it might come close to that if it doesn't get too much of the bourbon character, and if they smoked instead of charred the staves that they put in.
Right.
That would add a little bit of smoke to the composition. And sitting there for 11 years, it'll pick up what's in there.
It's a hot nose. I can't get in too deep because that alcohol will start burning pretty quick.
Whew, but it doesn't smell young. It's got none of that little wild, harsh taste smell to it.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well, let's see.
Interesting. I like that.
Well, the smoke is definitely not the kind of stuff you would get from peat and Scotch. It's definitely sort of woody type smoke.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, if you gave this to me blind, I don't know what I would say I thought this was.
Japanese. When you're in doubt,
No.
call it Japanese.
I mean, no. It's not nearly as sweet as a Japanese whiskey.
Well, it's not. It's certainly not the really caramelly taste that you would have with a bourbon. And
I like
the
it.
amount of rye in it is not enough to make it
No.
a really sharp taste.
Man, it's good.
Oh, look.
I like that. It's got
The legs are right at the top of the, look at the glass all the way down.
super oily, long legs and mouthfeel. Very viscous. Well, I would say it's pretty delicious. It is unusual. This is a different kind of thing here. I'm digging it.
Yeah, it's experimenting with smoke, which is sort of, something that a number of newer American distilling companies, whether they're actually making their own or not, they are different kinds of smoke, and I think they may have gotten a double gold with this. It's
I could definitely see it. This is good, and for the price point, I think it's really good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, wow. Yeah, if you can get it for $35, I would definitely do it. Because yeah, like you said, it's not peat smoke at all. It is a different, like a campfire smoke.
Yeah.
But it's not overly smoky. Wow.
In fact, you don't really get that smoke until the finish. Yeah, I don't smell the smoke.
No, not really. It's not so much on the nose. Once I've started drinking it, I can detect it just a little bit. But it's definitely, you don't open it and go, whoa! You know,
No.
Campfire.
It's a very nice, well balanced, aged drink, and it's got a little bit of interest in it.
It does. I'm impressed. This is a unique little thing. I definitely hate to say it, highly recommend it.
Okay, I think so. And let's hope that they actually produce some of their own eventually. You know?
Yeah. I think I got the feeling they might now. The thing I read about it said it started as a sourced MGP product. So I know we were talking in an earlier video about the Old Fourth bourbon in Atlanta, which I found out was contract distilled by MGP also. Not because they couldn't do it here, but just because they were running on such a high demand with their vodka and gin products that they didn't have the room to do it. So I think they're actually expanding now, but it may be one of those cases they just don't have the room maybe to do the stuff.
But it's not. I was going to say it's not uncommon, but it's really very common for a new distillery to get some sourced whiskey and bottle it with an interesting name, and to get some cash flowing in, because you typically are going to age this thing from 3 to 12 years or so, and for the first 3 or 4 years you're not getting any income if you don't. If you've got a whiskey that has to be aged. Now, if you're going to do vodka or something else like that, moonshine, then you can sell that right away and sell it for more than it's worth, in my opinion. But you can sell it right away. But if you're going to age it, then this is it.
So yeah, I will be looking for these guys. I'm onto them now. I'm impressed.
I'm impressed too. I just got it because I thought it was a cute name.
Yeah.
And of course, 11 years is going to be pretty well aged. But so we recommend it. And until next time, enjoy yourself. Don't forget to like us and subscribe. And we'll welcome any comments or suggestions you might have.
That's right.
Till
Cheers.
next time.